Yeah, well, because we all want a beautiful lawn and landscape, no doubt about that, but we're not all so crazy about the work involved to get at that point and then to maintain it after that. Well, one of the things that we can do is just pay attention to what's going on in the environment around us, like put the right plant in the right place. For me, that means paying attention to what's going on in nature because I'm always in awe at how healthy everything looks out there that Mother Nature takes care of. But the reason for that is those plants are naturally adapted to that environment. They're indigenous. So what we need to do is just replicate some of those same plants and bring them into our landscapes. The way we do that is we go to our garden professionals and we buy the plants that are of those varieties and those types and we get them established in our landscapes. And then they're an autopilot. So, I mean, it's not complicated and it doesn't require any extra inputs after they're established. And then the same thing applies to your lawn. We want that fantastic green carpet, but some people tend to think that it's just too much work, and it's just not the case because there are grass seed types out there right now that are drought tolerant, such as the Pennington Smart seed. You put that down and you can go 3 weeks between watering and it still maintains its green color. And then once it's established, it requires 30% less water than ordinary grass seed. So talking about an important way to save some important resources and save some time, that's a good way to do it right there. It's an interesting thing. A lot of people tend to overwater because they just think everything needs more water than it really does. But the fact of the matter is, about an inch of water per week is all that is needed for lawns and landscapes, and you can do that just to supplement whatever rainfall comes from there. And then the other thing is, watering at the right time. That makes such a big difference. Rather than do it in the middle of the day when, half that water is lost to evaporation, you want to do it early in the morning, like 4 to 8 in the morning when it's still cool and it's not windy, so whatever water's coming out of your sprinkler is going back into the ground to be taken up by the roots. So right time of day, right amount, so that's an inch, and the way you do that is infrequently but deeply. So not every day a little bit, maybe twice a week or once a week where it's all coming at one time. The reason for that is it promotes deeper root growth, which makes everything more drought tolerant, especially in those periods where we may be on a vacation and we just can't get back to the watering. That's a good way to make sure that those plants are low maintenance after that. And then the last thing we need to do is mulch. Mulch is like a protective layer of insulation. It helps hold moisture in the soil. It helps cut down on weed growth because it blocks light that promotes germination. It cuts down on diseases. And it's not just true for our landscape plants, but it's also true for our lawn. So if we are overseeding or establishing a new lawn with seed, we want products that are not only drought tolerant, but if they can have the mulch and the fertilizer already built into it, like the Pennington One Step Complete, I mean, that's the ideal scenario because you put it down, you water it in, it only takes one hand. You can have a cold beverage in the other hand and the nozzle just watering it. To me, it's fun. So it's a nice, efficient way to get it all bundled up at once and get that great establishment and minimize the inputs as well. Well, the misuse is just making sure that you don't water at the wrong time, you don't water too much, and that you water on target. You don't want it to go off into the driveway or into the sidewalk because that's a waste of water. And the things that run off with the water go into our watershed. We don't want that either. So right time, right amount, on target. That's the key.